Hi Aries, welcome to your June 2016 love reading. It's Raina here. Okay, so shuffling the cards, yada yada. Heart of the matter. Recent past. Higher perspective. Unseen influences that is crossing you. Beneficial influence. Advice. And outcome. Alrighty then. So the heart of the matter is the Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of somebody who is working really, really hard at something. What could this mean? Well, for people that are single, it could mean that you really are working hard at your career and you really don't have much time to devote to your love life, but you still want one. And so that is what you're struggling with. And maybe some of you go out to bars, since that is the only time when you have off on a Saturday night, and you're hoping to meet someone that way, and it isn't working out, which doesn't surprise me. So maybe you should try something else. Maybe you should try going to a meetup group and find somebody who's on the same page with you, who has similar interests. For people who are in troubled relationships, the Eight of Pentacles may mean that you're trying to work on the relationship. And sometimes when we try really hard, and this is something that Aries can really believe is a way to approach life, to impose its will on life. And it's just not working because you have to look at the raw material and whether there's anything, whether there's any there. And if there isn't, then you're going to have to just confront that reality, as sad as it is. And it doesn't mean starting World War III. It means sitting down with the other person and really bearing your soul. A lot of times, infidelity is, I feel, a passive-aggressive move. And Aries is really not a passive-aggressive sign. Aries is like aggressive. But it could be in certain instances that the other person may be the one who is, cheating on you. I feel like Aries tends to be a stand-up sign in terms of being an open book. So maybe somebody's cheating on you and you're working on your marriage because of that, and they're cheating on you because they don't feel that they can get any kind of cooperation on your part. And so maybe if that rings true for you, if you feel like you have that tendency to want to control things, you might want to stop trying to work on the relationship and just let go of the need to control. Because sometimes working on the relationship, to me, is a form of control too, because you try to get the therapist on your side and getting them to agree with your position, and you can go to therapy for years, and not have a resolution. So at some point you have to surrender, and that's not in your DNA to surrender. You are a natural warrior, and that's how you roll. And in some instances, this is not a bad thing, but in relationships, it can be a very, I'd say it can be a recipe for turmoil, because other people do not like to be ordered around, and they want to feel that they are on equal footing, that they are not your subordinate. So the recent past is the Nine of Pentacles. This can be an actual person who was part of the, I was going to say threesome. Where did that come from? I mean, love triangle if there was another person involved. So this could be specifically a woman, and but Nine of Pentacles doesn't have to be a specific gender. I've just seen it depicted as a woman in both my Morgan Greer deck as well as the Rider-Waite deck, I think, has it as a woman. But anyway, it could be an earth sign or somebody who has an earthy kind of demeanor. It could also mean that your partner is an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or Capricorn individual. And this may just be the person that you are having problems with, which I wouldn't be surprised. If you're with an earth sign person, I can see there being issues because there may be a physical connection, attraction, and it may be really an incredible one. But then the rest of the relationship, you're not on the same wavelength. And Aries, if that is the case, then you're going to have to realize the importance of being on the same wavelength with somebody else and not just the physical side of things, because it just doesn't work. How long does how long can you stay in bed? But anyway, the higher perspective is the High Priestess card, and I feel like in this case, it's funny, the higher perspective or the message from Spirit is to go within, to connect with your higher self, to kind of utilize your innate wisdom that you may constantly or frequently overlook because you're so active, you're so proactive, you like to do, and you like to just be in the thick of life. And this gives you a very enthusiastic vibe, and you're like a ball of energy. But, sitting still isn't one of your strong points. And sometimes this makes you very impulsive in your behavior. And this can lead you to do things that work against your best interests, especially in the love arena. And before you know it, you're up to your eyeballs in a lot of drama and in a situation that you don't know how to get out of. And so when you tap into your higher self, you're tapping into something that will give you answers, yield information, guidance for you to take advantage of, instead of just kind of doing this and doing that in the external world. It's more about be still and know. That's what the High Priestess represents. Now, the energy that is kind of crossing you beneath the surface is the World card. And so I feel that this is some kind of a cycle. Maybe you don't see it on the conscious level, that you have ended a cycle. And because it's right below the Eight of Pentacles, it may kind of underscore that some of you, if you've been in a long-term relationship or a marriage, and you're trying to make it work and it's floundering, it may be telling you that you have ended that cycle and now it's time for a new one, but you're not aware of that. You're not really listening. You're not using that intuition to really gain the understanding at the most fundamental level that whatever this connection with this other person has run its course, and it's time to let go. And one of the things too about when you end a cycle is, and it's also about having a victory, the World card. So it may be that everything is going great in other areas of your life, and this is the one area that things suck, and you're not honoring that that some relationships are there for a season. I love that expression because I think it is so true. Sometimes you're meant to come together with somebody else, and sometimes you even procreate with that person, and then you have nothing in common. It's just like, you're like, why am I with this person? Well, you brought into the world this other person. And so that alone is like plenty. But, the pain comes when you cling to something that is finished. And if you wouldn't cling to it, it would be cool. It'd be fine. But that makes things messier. Now, the energy that you can take advantage of during the month of June is the Seven of Wands. Wands relate to your element of fire. This is a card of defending yourself. You know, if some of you are in divorce proceedings, this may mean that you have to state your case, that you can't just let things sit anymore. But I think in general, it's just about preserving your dignity and really just not allowing anyone else to walk all over you, which seems very bizarre for me to even utter those words to an Aries person, because you know you are all about being very proactive and very strong as an individual, and not seeming like the type to ever allow anybody to diss you or anything. But it might be in a more subtle sense, even though this is a card of somebody really jousting and, you know, protecting his space. It could just be that there's something going on in the relationship that is creating a bit of a demeaning vibe in that you're dealing with. So maybe you're in a relationship, like let's say somebody is using you for money, or for, you know, if it's just a sexual relationship, that lowers your self-worth. So you might be fighting against yourself, actually, rather than anyone in the external world, to maintain your dignity in whatever way this is appropriate for you. Remember, this is a general reading, so it's not going to be 100% across the board something that you may resonate with. But I'll leave that there. The advice is the Eight of Wands. So this is about really taking advantage of any opportunity that comes your way. It may be something very sudden that just, you know, it could be a job offer. It could be something to do with a new romance too, you know. Wands relate to passions in life, but it might come in suddenly and you have to act quickly, you know, limited time offer. And whatever happens, just be prepared for it, and it's going to be something really good that happens. And it'll make you feel really alive, and that's how you like to feel, so that's awesome. The outcome is the Ace of Wands. So this is a new beginning. You know, I get the World card, the last card in the Major Arcana. Then I get the Ace of Wands. And this is about you starting something that has your heart, that gives you joy and passion. It could be a business, but it can be the start of a new love affair. And so whatever it is, your heart will be in it. It won't be something that you go through the motions with. And it's the start of it. And you love beginnings, Aries. So I feel like you're in this, maybe a transitional time, but you end really strong. So that's awesome. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, please click on the link below. Take care. Bye.